Welcome to 2004 Podcast Odyssey. We're eating a lot of snacks right now. We're stuffing our fat faces.
Yeah.
This is a long-awaited another one episode.
Another one episode?
Just another one.
We've had some technical difficulties recently. I'd like to apologize.
We've been away for a while.
Yeah, we're working on some shit.
Ourselves.
And the show and platform for the show.
We've been taking long walks in the desert.
Mm-hmm. We were taking long naps on peyote in the desert.
Yeah, we met ourselves in Joshua Tree.
Mm-hmm.
And we listened to Joshua Tree by U2. Conclusion, don't really care for it. Don't really like U2.
I'm not a fan of U2 either. That's what some of our fans say. To us sometimes.
Who?
They're not a fan of U2.
It's a weird thing because it's the first time we've ever expressed this opinion, but that's what they say.
Yeah.
When they meet us at non-existent live shows, they say, we're not fans of U2. And I'm like, we don't care for that band? Oh, wait a minute, I get it.
Yeah. Dude, does that thing up there look like it was on fire at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's concerning.
What's that called? We're looking at a roof right now.
We're looking at the ceiling. We're not looking at the roof.
Yeah.
We're looking...
The roof is not on fire. The ceiling may have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn it, man. You couldn't offer me the last one. I bought the shit. Man.
Sorry.
Man. You gotta buy me something later.
I'll buy you a prostitute.
Okay. Can I kill her?
Who's a sex worker, man? Don't be so rude.
I don't know if I could handle a hooker, man. I don't know. That's not a thing.
Yes, me neither. I'm fine with it being legal.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I could personally do it.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody I knew that was also a hooker. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, yeah, no, it's cool. Like,
yeah.
I will charge you. Oh.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing, but I feel like that would have to be the one, like, alright with me.
A friend?
It would have to be like...
Would you have to naturally know her, or would you go out of your way to meet a prostitute and become friends with her?
Maybe both.
Just so you could feel comfortable.
I don't know if
buying her services eventually.
I don't know if I could go out and like be friends. Like I don't know if I could search.
Oh,
to be friends.
I'd have to say I couldn't go out and be friends with her in public, which I'm saying,
no.
Damn, man, that's
like if I met her in public and then it turns out, you know, maybe.
If you met her at a show, whatever.
Yeah, if I met her out somewhere, that'd be different. But like, I'd have to, you know, or like if I had a friend that went into the business, like I would be cool with it. I would be cool with like asking their services.
Yeah.
But also, I would like want to hang out with them as friends first to see where things are, and then like start like kind of bring it up and like talk about it.
I wonder how they feel about friends buying their service.
I mean, I would assume it varies person to person. Some people, it depends on how open they are about things.
Yeah.
Too, because like some people might keep that part of their lives a secret.
If they consider
stigma and stuff.
They still consider sex a somewhat sacred thing.
I wonder if like in any of those places where prostitution is legal like that, I wonder if any of them are like prefer it be like a friend relationship. And then, like, they, like, have to, like, get to know someone before they allow them to use their services.
I have no idea. Also, it sounds like you're talking like this a lot.
Yeah, I can't really help that.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot.
I'm still sick.
Oh, yeah, you're sick.
Yeah, asshole.
Yeah, I'm not gonna apologize.
Yeah, man. Javon's over here not being a concerned friend. Just giving me shit. About my voice.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, I'm sorry you still feel bad. It's like, oh fuck you, man. Talk right.
You over here sounding like what do they call that?
What?
That voice thing where people talk like this.
It's a vocal fry.
Yeah, vocal fry, that's it.
You could say I sound like Tom Waits.
No. You don't sound like Tom Waits.
I mean, I have the same groan, I like to think.
You sound like
Sling Blade.
Millennial.
Oh, I sound like a millennial.
Yeah.
Just like a real I don't have like a raspy.
It's not
voice.
really gruff. It's more just millennial vocal. The common soft
like,
boy millennial vocal fry.
Okay, I get you. I hope it turns into that though.
Oh, you want to
like
sound tough?
At some point.
You want to drink like you drown yourself in bourbon?
Yeah, I wanna speak like I've been smoking cigarettes for 20 years.
Yeah. But you don't sound like Tom Waits.
That's actually a pretty good Tom Waits.
Waltzing Matilda. Waltzing Matilda.
What about
That's
big
it.
old chocolate Jesus?
That's literally all I know. Oh, way down in the hole from The Wire. He was the Wire theme song.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. The only song I really know by Tom Waits is Chocolate Jesus.
No.
Yeah, it's a fucking weird song to hear. That was my introduction to Tom Waits. Like, I knew who Tom Waits was.
My introduction as a song by once I knew his name was Waltzing Matilda.
Oh, okay.
But before that, before I knew his name, was the Wire theme song.
Okay. He had a video on Beavis and Butthead.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember that. I probably remember music videos a little bit more because of Beavis and Butthead.
Same.
Like
I don't think I would know any of the what's that group called?
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No. Psychedelic rock group from the late aughts.
Late aughts?
Yeah.
Like 09?
Yeah.
I don't know. Then MGMT?
Yeah, MGMT. They had a song on the Revival.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I would know that song.
Oh, yeah. I always think MGMT is like older than they are.
They're not.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. I always think they were like a 90s, like late 90s band. Or an early 2000s
That is
band.
weird.
But
That's
they are
way,
like
you went way far back.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I probably like pushed those years back a little bit.
Do you? Brain. Are you a time traveler?
Maybe.
Is your sense of time just all mixed up? Are you existing in this dimension, in this time period, and also another one?
Maybe.
Are we like?
If I am, I'm not conscious of it.
Standing in front of an audience in the 1940s on a radio show at the same time you're doing this podcast in 2018.
Could you imagine that linking up though?
What?
Like things that I've said on this podcast linking up to 1940s shit that I'm doing on a radio show.
What? Well, you probably get fired because he said shit and been.
No, that's cool. We were.
Nah, that's cool. Everyone in the 40s smoked too.
Like we're in a very small town where like things are a little gruff. You know, we're like radio's still in its heyday. And
so
is like a pirate.
But is the radio for just the town?
It only goes to like a certain part of the town, so like we know that we have like an audience there.
Yeah.
But it's like we're like a late night thing.
The ruffians and vagabonds.
Vagabonds. Aren't vagabonds like traveling musicians?
I think they're traveling something. I don't know. I'm not sure if
I think I want to say that they are, because I didn't actually know what that meant or had ever heard. Oh, without a home or a job, I just associate them with music because of Chance the Rapper.
Because that was it in a song.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Vagabond as a thing.
Oh. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I want to talk about post-comedy.
Oh yeah.
I know other podcasts have talked about this already.
Yeah.
For example, I just listened to an episode of the Pod Struggle Sesh where they talked about post-comedy.
Uh-huh.
Post-comedy is not a thing. It was a week. They did a week at the Vulture's comedy vlog, Splitsider, which was a comedy magazine I've been familiar with for a couple years. Mm-hmm. They just recently got absorbed into Vulture.
Oh, so Vulture like kind of took them?
Yeah.
Okay, over?
Yeah. And they did a week of articles about post-comedy, which they define as like some post-internet.
Oh, okay.
Comedy that doesn't necessarily have to make you laugh.
I don't understand that.
Look it up, please.
Hold on. I'm looking at Joe Roosevant's who is one of the top financial professionals in the country, is a follower of ours now. So that's interesting. If you were...
Maybe he wants to be our financial advisor.
We could use it. How do we make money? That's the question, man.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. So you're telling me to look up... Oh, the Cowpote podcast follows us. Whatever follows us. And the Smack Download podcast is a fan of ours.
Yeah.
These people just yell, apparently. Sunday morning suburban drama, YouTube drama, Spreaker, got to love it. What? What does that mean? They uploaded it 9...
How about we not make fun of people that are following us?
I don't know what that means, man.
Look up Post Comedy.
Post Comedy?
Vulture. And I want to talk about one particular article.
Uh-huh. Is it 8 signs you're watching a post-comedy comedy?
They've got several articles.
Comedians share the jokes they most regret? Is that one?
That one.
Interesting. That's the second one. All right. It's tagged post-comedy, so I don't understand how this is...
It's comedians apologizing for bits they think were insensitive or whatever.
I don't want that as its own genre.
What, post-comedy?
I don't want, if that's what post comedy is comedians apologizing for shit or like talking about jokes they regret. I don't want that as its own thing. I want them to integrate that.
I'm not sure exactly what that has to do with even the concept of post comedy, because post comedy is supposed to be comedy that's semi serious,
like comedy that's not comedy. Like, because post comedy would make sense.
What does it even mean? Are you saying post comedy that is semi serious but has a message or something? Because most comedy, like satire, has a message.
Yeah, exactly.
What is comedy
explicitly like?
No, the definition of comedy is to make people laugh. That's what pisses me off about this.
I don't know if that's...
Don't even definition. Say that. That is literally the definition. Making people laugh.
Okay, so I want to say that...
Oh my god.
I don't know if that is like a published definition.
Look it up. Look it up on Google.
Do you want me to?
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Do it right now.
All right. Professional entertainment consisting of jokes and satirical sketches intended to make an audience... Damn.
Yeah, told you. Comedy has to be funny.
I don't think...
amuse. You have to amuse.
But I think that laughter is like a physical thing you get out of people. I think you can be humorous and amusing without like making people laugh.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying you would be.
I gotta make people chortle.
You have to make people smile and nod.
There's no other. Being humorous is kind of part of making people laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make people laugh by telling depressing stories.
But like, I think that like, laughter is like a bad reputation of what comedy is, because you could call. There's people that don't laugh at much. And there's people that like, you know,
they're not good comedy audiences then.
Yeah, but like there's people that like would find stuff amusing.
Which is how I'm starting to feel about these vulture people.
Oh, they just don't.
I don't think they like comedy. They don't have respect for the genre.
Yeah.
Which is why they say shit like this. Which is why they overly praise Nanette and Drew Michaels' special. They don't really like comedy. They think that because we're living in such harsh times or whatever, people have to be serious. So,
yeah, and
just laughing to laugh is bad. Like,
the bad part about that is like, I would say that the best comedy comes out of hard times.
Exactly. Like, the song "Hard Times" by Paramore.
Even if it's not like even if it's not like.
Can you turn it real so I can see it?
Oh yeah, apologize. Actually, could you do me a favor and lift the
right.
Yeah, that thing, the box part of my charger, and put it on the table, because I can't. I didn't have the movement for the charger.
All right, let's read. I want to read the article.
Okay.
Not every part, but
Can we at least just cite who it is by? It's by Eric Abris.
Yes.
Eric does not have foreskin.
I don't like this guy. Alrighty. I just don't like him.
Oh, you don't like Jews, Javon?
His name is Abris. I don't know what the origin of that last name is.
Means
I know I get Abris. I get the Bris joke. That's the joke.
Without foreskin. I'm 100%, dude. That's a Jewish name.
It's not a last name.
You do not have foreskin.
It is not a last name.
It is a last name because it is that dude's last name. It may not be a Jewish last name. Is that what you meant?
There's not two S's on Bris. The word Bris is like one S.
Yeah, no, that's how you fucking conjugate the verb, dude.
Oh my god. Oh, whatever. Let me read it. To err is human, to forgive.
To err.
Yeah, to err.
To err.
No, it's to err.
No, it's to err.
It's to err.
What is it called when somebody makes a mistake? What's another word for something that's somebody... Error.
Yeah.
Not error.
No, it's to err. You pronounce that er.
No, you pronounce that air.
You pronounce it er.
It's not only pronounced er.
I'm pronouncing it er.
It's pronounced air.
It's er.
I find problem with that. Also,
you find it problematic?
Mic is cutting in and out, so we need to...
You find it problematic?
I don't find it problematic. I just dislike it. It hurts my ears, Javon.
It's er.
It's air.
Er is human, to forgive. Divine is a proverb that seems to have been rejected by a large sector of the comedy community. Perhaps it's a generational thing, but there's a school of thought that pervades certain comedic circles where jokes are just that and nothing more. So you're offended at an audience member, then you're too sensitive and don't have the mental bandwidth to understand such brilliant joke architecture, which is fair. Something that a comedian in this actual article talks about is comedians saying that no, you do. Just because an audience didn't like your joke doesn't make them stupid. Mm-hmm. Like that's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Just because the comedian didn't like your joke doesn't make them wrong.
Audience.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you said just because a comedian doesn't like their joke doesn't mean they're wrong.
Whatever.
No, I'm just Yeah.
Apologies, accountability, and massaging feelings are for suckers. Of course. God dang, you go down.
Man, it's not hard. 2 fingers up.
I hate this. Of course, not all
like you're
comics hold
scrolling
this belief.
something.
Many performers are committed to making comedy a less hostile, more inclusive environment, not just for marginalized people on stage, but also the ones in the crowd too. At very least, not as many comics are allergic to criticism or being considerate as you might think. This discourse rages on about whether or not political correctness is destroying comedy. Spoiler alert, it isn't. These 13 comedians, it isn't. I agree with that. It's not.
No.
You just have to evolve with the times. Yeah. Comedy has to evolve with the times.
Yeah.
These 13 comedians decided that self-interrogation is ultimately a good thing. They opened up about the material they performed that hasn't aged particularly well and how owning up to it has helped grow their comedic voices. Weird Al Yankovic. I already remember what he said, so I'm not going to read that the entire way through.
Okay, but we can just give a synopsis.
Give a quick. What Weird Al said is that he said midget in some early 80s songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like... And he's like, I wouldn't say that today. Yeah. I try to be family friendly, is something he said.
Yeah, and which is obvious.
Yeah.
Within his work, because that's the only thing he's ever really had
in the 80s. That was something you could say.
Yeah, they didn't have a major voice,
and now he's trying to be a better person,
and not call
culture has evolved, and he's not going to say that's fair. That's Weird Al. Yeah, and that's fair to not say midget. Yeah. It's a mean thing to say.
Also, I just want to say that Weird Al's a cool dude.
He is.
He's just a nice dude.
He generally comes across as nice.
He's just having fun.
Paul Scheer, I'm going to tell you what he said. I remember what his thing was.
Okay.
He had a sketch that he did at UCB the year after 9/11 in New York.
Okay.
And
I'm already excited.
It was sort of a 9/11 themed sketch. Uh-huh. I think he was a comedian that got trapped under rabble. Rubble, yeah.
Okay.
Under Barney from the Flintstones.
That was good.
Real.
I approve of that.
Fatty Arbuckle style.
Wait, so in the sketch, Scheer got trapped
under some 9/11 rubble
as a comedian.
Yes, he's a comedian in it.
Yeah,
yes.
In the sketch, yes.
That gets shown on television, trapped under the rubble. And once he gets out, he was super excited to watch himself on TV, trapped under rubble, getting saved or something like that.
Okay.
And he's just taking an opportunity to get state television time.
Oh, okay.
Because of getting trapped under rubble. and he thought that sketch was insensitive all these years later. And I'm like, yeah, it's fair if you want to think that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't regret that one though.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I think
that sketch can be done well.
I don't think that that's in bad taste. Because he's not making fun of 9/11.
No.
He's making fun of a character.
Yeah.
He's crafted a character. It is making light of 9/11, and I think that we need to do that. I think this country has like this tendency to make 9/11 this like... And it was. Like, people died. But,
who made this?
But relative to the amount of people that died in the Iraq War...
I have a topic I want to talk about just because I saw it on this page, but I'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in that too. I've seen it recently. But I just, man, 9/11 was just like blown out of proportion, man. And we need to
They used it to justify a war.
Exactly. We're talking about hundreds of thousands
It wasn't
of
blown
people.
out. Let's not.
It was...
They used it to do some bad, stupid shit. And it broke people's brains into saying dumb shit.
We could talk about it, but we're staying light today.
Fuck?
Hold on, bro. You got to be on. You can't be on the
right here.
Any of the browser. You have to be within the page. So anywhere within the page will work. Up here, it's like you're trying to control something in the browser.
All right, this.
Oh, Sashir Zamata?
Yeah, I remember what she said. She was the black girl that was on SNL, did nothing for like I don't know how many seasons she was on, and then left unceremoniously. Like,
did she used to have?
She's an improv performer and a stand-up.
Yeah, but was her hair different? Like
when she was
style?
on? Yeah, I mean she had different hairstyles.
Wait, she's not. Is there still a? I'm getting her. I think I don't know her, and I think I'm confusing her with the lady that is still on SNL that barely does anything.
There's one black lady on SNL.
Is it only Leslie Jones?
Yes.
Was she on?
She was on with Leslie at one point. Yes.
Oh, so she was. She was
the one that got canceled. She was the one that got hired first before Leslie, and then they barely did anything with her.
Yeah, like she never had a role.
They gave her some things, but
she was like a background character.
Pretty much, she was background for the most part.
Okay. She just looks different in this photo.
Yeah. Her joke was about how many white guys she slept with.
How many?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had some joke about like sleeping with white guys. It's my pussy looks like something like getting beat by cops. I don't. It was a police brutality joke, which sounds.
It's kind of funny though.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a joke there.
And she said it. She used to say it just to like piss off like sensitive white audience members,
which I appreciate.
I'm trying to actually you do things.
Dude,
so
okay. Oh my god, it's not that hard. 2 fingers, just press and control this. Like right. It's just like barely any effort, man.
All right.
You're just rolling your fingers. You see me? It's not that hard. Just get used to it.
All right. And I assume they got their response because I was referring in front of sensitive white folks whose assholes tighten up whenever anyone talks about race.
Sorry, I realized the joke, or not the joke.
Okay. She stopped saying it. She stopped doing that joke mostly because of how many police brutality videos started popping up. And she also thought it was just a shocking thing she said.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do, if you think it's like a shock value thing, that's fine.
Also, if you don't want to do a joke anymore, you don't have to do that joke anymore. I'm
not saying these people should continue doing the joke if they don't want to. I'm just saying some of the shit.
I just want to say that.
Yeah.
For the point. But like, I think that's kind of a funny joke, but I think that I understand her reasoning.
Yeah, but I think she says, I didn't tell that joke for very long, but I don't think it would hold up today. I think it would hold up today. That joke's not that offensive.
Yeah, I think that she may come into hot water, but like as soon as the clip gets shown, people would get it.
Like somebody might get pissy.
Yeah,
people get pissy about everything, but I don't think that joke's that bad.
No, I think that if the worst thing your joke is doing is making some white people feel uncomfortable, like you're not doing anything wrong.
And you may be doing a good thing.
Exactly. Which, like, as an audience member, I'd appreciate that. I'd find that hilarious. I would laugh at.
Also, she doesn't like talking about sex. That's another thing. That's a sex thing. It's a sex joke, and she doesn't like talking about sex on stage anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
The last thing stand-up needs is any more people doing bits about sex.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do sex.
About sex.
Like,
yeah, I get
it's exhausting how many people
like we get it. Sex is always going to continue evolving and stuff.
And it will always be funny to talk about, but
like,
God,
it kind of gets
all
old.
you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's fair.
Yeah.
Here's this one is one that bothered me.
Okay, so I have no clue. I dig the shirt, but I have no clue who this man is.
He's a New York-based comic, Joel Kim Booster. He's gay, and his joke was about how he got a blowjob from a Trump supporter.
Yeah. Okay.
And his joke was, he said he had a mouthful of braces.
Is what it felt like.
Yeah, it felt like he had a mouthful of braces, and I don't think that's particularly funny.
Yeah, no.
And he even admits it's kind of lazy. It's not even a punchline, just something he said.
Also, I don't think that that's like accurate either.
What?
Like, I don't think that receiving oral sex from someone with braces is inherently painful.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying. When do you use your teeth?
It's an easy concept that people would get.
Yeah.
Like you can imagine it. Like
it's a simple, easy joke.
Yeah, people could. It's easy to imagine. That it's probably bad to get a
like people thought about that in high school and shit. You know.
And he said that an audience member came up to him after a show and said, "I liked everything except the braces bit." And then he showed his braces and it's like, "And I give a good blowjob." And he was like, "I'm a sensitive." He says, "I'm a sensitive boy myself, and I like to be sensitive to other people." And for some reason, it gave me a comedy headache just reading that. Like,
what do you mean a comedy headache?
I just mean like it bothered me. It's just like, are you? So you decided because one either got mad over a braces joke.
Yeah. Also, I think dude was trying to give you head, and you missed that opportunity, man.
He didn't pick up on him.
Yeah. He didn't pick up on he was obviously getting hit on there.
Yeah.
You don't tell somebody you can give good head.
And also that joke, and oh my God, dude, you're an adult with braces.
Yeah.
It'll get taken out. This will get taken out eventually.
Yeah.
Just deal with the jokes for now.
Yeah, like braces, making fun of people with braces.
You're not a sex. Yeah. You're not a race.
No, you're just
you're not a sexuality. You're
2 years max of a person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
And if you're like over 2 years
corrective dental wear
as a person, just give it up, man. Either get dentures or fucking
just
give it up.
Deal with the joke.
Yeah,
just
for real.
Deal with the jokes.
It's like, man, shut the fuck up.
I'm just like, I'm not gonna be sensitive to people who wear braces. Are you kidding me?
I mean, maybe kids with braces.
Yeah, but
don't
I'm not
make fun of kids with braces.
He's in a comedy club performing in front of adults.
If you're an adult, be an adult.
Deal with it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like making a bad fashion choice, man.
Exactly.
Deal with the shit until, your smile's gonna be worth it, alright? Shit.
Cameron Esposito.
Cameron Desposito.
Exactly. Alright, let me just... I forgot, because I just kind of skipped hers.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of got annoyed as soon as I saw her. I just skipped it.
Yeah, which isn't really good.
Nah.
Because,
Yeah.
I'll give her a chance, at least.
I don't know. She just... It's not real. I don't think she's very funny. It's more my problem.
Yeah,
sorry.
I get that.
Just being honest. All right. I'm going to read hers. I don't really look at regret or shame or evolution. As I've aged as a human and performer, I've gotten more information. I've adjusted my material and performance to reflect my current knowledge. For instance, I used to talk about women getting periods. I had this bit I did about how our bodies matches our bodies out of our bodies. I have a lot of trans and non-binary humans in my life and in my audience, and they told me I might want to make it more inclusive. And I use phrases like people with vaginas or cultured females, sometimes men and women. Okay, she just adjusted her phrasing.
Yeah, which I understand. And I think that needed to be, included in this.
And then it's just a whole thing about caring about people.
Yeah. And that's just about inclusivity at that point, which is a separate argument.
But did she regret the joke?
No.
It doesn't sound like she regretted the joke. No, I'm just saying that's the premise, though. The premise of the article is regretting the joke.
I think that...
if anything, she regrets the phrasing of the joke.
Yeah, but I think that this should be included in the article just for its own point,
Yeah, but it's just... It's like... Well, it's about
you're being hacky at this point. You're being petty about this article at that point, man. You're nitpicking some dumb shit instead of mocking the concept.
But I can if I want to.
All right. This is Emily Heller.
Yeah, Emily Heller.
Pretty funny.
I've seen her. She's funny. I used to have a bit in my act about how there's voice people associate with gay men, but there's no lesbian accent. I remember what she said. She said that she stopped doing it because she's not gay. And she felt like weird doing a bit about it, which,
I understand that.
If you don't want to do it.
Hold on, what was I don't get I pitched that we introduce one and that it should be like a really bad fake French accent. Oh, okay, that's kind of funny.
Mark, can you turn it around?
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to read this. Because I wanted to, like, understand her joke a little more. And you didn't read it, so... Hold on, wait. It's about the murder of Vincent Chin, a hate crime in Detroit. Well, oh, it's a play. I started getting it with...
She said when she was in college, she saw a play.
Oh, okay.
Called Carrying a Tiger to the Mountain, about the murder of Vincent Chin, a hate crime that happened in Detroit before hate crime laws even existed in the United States.
It was the same friend who, because it was college improv, it was obviously fucking terrible, but the worst part was when one of the white kids on stage...
You're not explaining what you're explaining.
Oh, I'm not?
You just kind of skipped into what...
Oh, did I... Oh, it's just an improv show.
Her friend invited her to an improv show. Her friend was Asian.
Okay. I missed that part. Okay.
The same friend that took her to see that play.
Yeah.
And when she was at the college improv, which was bad, the worst part was one of the white kids on stage launched into a Family Guy-esque impression of an Asian person.
Which is, like, extremely racist.
Yeah.
At any point. Watch the mic, dude. Yeah, that's lame. All right. Kyle Kinane, the voice.
Wait,
is he still the voice of Comedy
Let me read the rest.
Is he still the voice of Comedy Central?
Yeah, he still is.
Okay.
He's still very funny.
Yeah.
Have you seen his 30-minute comedy special on Netflix? No. Oh, it's funny.
Okay.
It's a good set. He's always good. He's really good.
Yeah,
comedy.
he's a pretty good stand-up. We need to work on something here. All right.
So pretty much, she said that it made her friend cry in the parking lot.
Hold on. Say that again.
It made her friend cry in the parking lot.
Oh,
the racist white dude at the improv show.
That's understandable.
And generally, she's talking about just political correctness is not a harbinger. Just be nicer to people.
Yeah, I don't even want to call that political. I don't like the concept of political correctness. I think that's inaccurate and also used to, like, reject being, like, caring to people and reject human kindness.
All right, and Kyle Kinane talks about a joke that he used to do that was like a shock joke.
Oh, okay.
That is kind of hacky. Yeah. He said, the joke is rape. I can barely keep it up for a woman who's into me. Which, that's fair.
It's not a great joke, but it's funny-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard shit like that. I'm good.
Oh, okay. It's kind of hacky.
Yeah,
I could see.
There's shock shit that's hacky to me. So,
well, like, when was it? He doesn't say when it was.
When he was a young comic, when he was just starting.
Oh, okay. So, like, probably, like,
in his 20s or something.
Like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like late 2000s, like aughts.
I remember her. The next lady is a lady named Anna Dresden. I've never seen her stand up. Oh, okay. I'm not saying I remember her.
You remember it from the article.
What she said.
Yes.
And what she said is that she used to do, like, self-deprecation jokes all the time.
Yeah.
But it, like, started actually hurting her own feelings. So she was just like, it's hurting my self-esteem. So I'm just going to stop doing so many, like, cheap I'm ugly jokes on stage.
Yeah, and I get that. Go
back to...
Yeah, okay. So, what was hers about again? Continue.
She used to do cheap self-deprecation jokes at her own expense, and she started, like...
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Just, I had low self-esteem at the time, so it was just kind of making it worse, with all this shit talking about myself on stage.
Which is
that's just a self-care thing.
Yeah, like, don't do that to yourself. You know? I understand that completely. Wait, hold on, I want to see one of these jokes. I look like if Brendan Fraser were a new mom. She kind of does. She kind of does, and that's kind of funny.
Demi Abadujabe.
Yeah.
His bit is one that... I like Demi Abadujabe.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know who he is, do you?
I know him from you talking about.
He's he's funny on Twitter. He's finer He's a comedy writer.
Oh, he's a Viner.
He is a former Viner.
Okay.
He's a comedy writer and a podcaster.
Oh, okay.
He's the writer for The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
Former writer for At Midnight and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He was also hosted the podcast The Gilmore Guys.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to list his entire credits, man.
I am though.
All right.
And another podcast called Punch Up the Jams. But
okay.
He did a video online for Twitter.
Yeah.
He's still pretty much a Viner because Twitter owned Vine, and it's pretty much the same. It's kind of like the same service.
He just makes the same type of videos now. Yeah.
Where he did a series of videos where he did like the credits for Oscar-nominated movies back in like, this is 2016?
I don't know, man. 2017. There's the date.
It's 2017.
Yeah.
And he made one for Moonlight. If you know the premise of that movie, do you?
I know it's about a gay black man.
Yeah, growing up in Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he like did a impression of Will Smith rapping the credits to the movie.
Oh, okay.
But he was like, I'm not gay, but I support the gay community, and that was the entire joke. And like, despite the fact that no one confronted him on it, it's him saying, I felt uncomfortable after that because I felt kind of bad because it sounded like I was making fun of the gay community.
Yeah.
Which, hey, if that's how you feel,
voice it.
Yeah, but like,
that's cool.
No one really bothered him about it.
Yeah, but still, it's good to hear that. You know.
Yeah.
You should be able to talk about that sort of stuff.
If you want to be cautious.
I
wouldn't be cautious. I would have just made the joke and then not felt any better.
I mean, like, if you feel bad about it, it's nice to hear that from people, though. Or,
Jake, Jake Flores.
Hold on, I need to see his face. Yo, I don't know that dude, but he looks like me, man. He looks like a me.
If you were half Mexican.
Yeah. And, like, looked like the... dude, you know who he looks like?
Who?
You remember the, that one character?
If you say like a drummer or a guitarist for some punk band, I don't know.
You've seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is it Fast Times or it's Fast Times? He looks like the dude that is supposed to bring, like the guy that's on the date. He's supposed to bring him the wallet. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember the character's name.
I haven't seen a movie in a while.
Oh, you're lame. It's a classic. All right, continue.
I'm lame because I just haven't seen a movie in a while.
Yeah. Call me lame. Fucking do this shit, man.
All right. He was talking about when he moved to New York when he was 27. He recorded a comedy album, like when he just moved to New York, and it was something he was like doing. Are you reading it?
Just because he called her completely corn cobs.
Yeah.
Just made me giggle.
He was telling a bit about like a girlfriend that was called crazy, which he says that he felt bad because it kind of reinforced the gender stereotype of women being crazy. He still thinks she's not all there, but personally it is a lame, hacky stand-up trope.
Yeah.
To like say women are, ooh, I dated this crazy girl, or whatever.
Exactly.
He's also the same comedian who did that podcast episode about Nanette, where he just kind of criticizing Nanette for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And he's generally funny on Twitter, by the way. You should follow him.
He seems like a, I don't know. Continue.
He seems like a what?
I don't know, man. My thought didn't develop.
He's definitely like a New York comic.
Okay, I don't care, man. Continue. What's his name? What's his name on Twitter?
Jake Flores.
Just at Jake Flores.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Continue though. We need to go through these and get them all on my Twitter. Like, I need to follow all of them, is what I'm saying. I've been falling off of Twitter, alright? I'm trying to get back on the game, alright? Continue.
Okay. Let me just read the actual article. Okay. The chunk of material that glares the most consistent, that he regrets the most from the album was the consistent lines about how the woman I dated was crazy. I mean, she as an individual is completely corn cobs. That part's not untrue, but I think the premise was hacky and sort of pandering to popular tropes at the time. Manic pixie dream girls, emo, pop punk, bitches be crazy, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mentioned pop punk and emo because at times it's considered interesting and deep and not childish and mentally ill to be a guy who antagonizes women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very big thing.
Yeah. In that genre.
Yeah.
In that genre of music.
Yeah.
That's a popular trope. A lot of pop culture was very rewarding of that stuff, and then people are moving past it, but I think I may just be getting older and hanging around people that are also growing.
Oh.
His podcast, Pod Damn America,
Yes,
is like a leftist comedy podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He's also friends with the Come Down guys who he mentions in this.
Oh, okay.
Let me skip to it. Should we hold comedians accountable? There's a part where he says, should we hold comedians accountable for the jokes? This is kind of a hot take. No, people have gone completely bananas with what they consider the world of art and culture to be. I think it's because of Trump, everyone feels powerless, and so they're doubling down on this weird idea that culture affects society and not the other way around. Mm-hmm. It is resulting in lame jokes. A joke's supposed to give you a good laugh, not supposed to make you clap and think, good for that person. Which is true.
Yeah.
There's this thing, like, this is why most political talk shows suck.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's clapter.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Haven't I explained this term to you before?
Never.
Clapter is like, instead of laughter, clapping and going, I agree with the premise of that joke.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like more of an actual word term, not a...
Jon Stewart coined it, the term, but he's also has gotten it a lot.
Yeah,
got it a lot on The Daily Show.
Yeah.
And you know who definitely gets it a lot? Bill Maher.
Yeah.
A lot of just, I agree with that joke instead of actually...
Yeah. White liberals wanting to feel good about themselves.
Yes.
By agreeing with some other white liberal saying something. Like, I do think that culture, I think that he's right about society affecting culture, but I think that culture also reinforces things. But with the jokes he's talking about and the reason he quit doing them sort of show that.
Yeah.
You know, it is a two-way street, but like we really got to look at, like, you can't blame culture for society's problems.
Yeah.
It's a two ways.
And I think a problem with I have with a lot of some of the parts of this article is that shit seems just like extremely sensitive, and maybe I just have a problem.
What do you mean?
With just like not making jokes about people with braces, like that's where,
like one thing though.
I know, but
that's like its own point. I don't think you can generalize the whole article based on that.
Yeah,
you know, that's its own little thing.
But also a lot of them, like the ones that are coming up, like the next one is Sabrina Jalil's.
Well, let's get to them.
Nah, I'm gonna talk about it here.
No, let's continue, dude, because I'm not familiar with them. You know,
all right,
fuck, dude.
I'm gonna say it here.
Scroll down.
No, let me read this rest of this.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Then continue. Pick one and go.
It's not only supposed to do. Okay, good for that person. It's not only supposed to do that, and you have to break a lot of eggs to figure out how to get those good laughs. So you're probably gonna say some weird shit the same way you're learning to play the oboe. You're gonna make a bunch of messed up, herky jerky, whistling toot noises. I don't like my old jokes about women, not because they were offensive, because of the subtext. What was actually being said was kind of bad.
Yeah.
So he's saying that the idea, the feeling behind it, the actual thought behind it is kind of hateful, which was his problem with those old jokes about women.
Yeah.
But irony is different, is what he says.
Yeah.
I could write a really offensive, ironic joke about the same topic, and I'd feel great about it. But the complexity is being lost, and that complexity is what helps people understand the thing to evoke the feeling of them. No, he didn't mention Come Down. I thought he did.
I was gonna say Metacritic score reached because you just talked about Come Town.
What does Metacritic mean?
Oh my god.
I know the website, but what's that mean?
Dude, it's been an ongoing thing I've made.
I know you said it. I just never forgot.
Metacritic score. It's a Metacritic. But quite literally.
It's a pun.
It's not a pun. It's actually quite literal. But it's a play on Metacritic.
That's a pun, dude.
It's a fucking, like, accurate term, though. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I think the joke is a pun, but I think that, like, what I'm doing is counting things that are trends in our show.
They're still puns.
And you just talk about Come Town a lot.
It's a pun. The same lady.
Come Town and Chapo.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of that show.
Yeah,
those shows. So. All right, this next comedian, Sabrina Jalil, she's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But her joke is pretty much like a hacky, like old as hell stand up thing.
Yeah.
Where you make a joke about your race.
Oh, the like the Eric Andre thing. Where he's like, I'm black and Jewish.
I'm bluish.
And that's why I look like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her joke was, I'm half Pakistani, I'm Swiss, I'm pissed.
Yeah, that's not even funny. That's not even funny. That's like a throwaway joke.
Yeah.
That's like I thought of this as I was walking up onto stage, and this is how I'm going to introduce myself.
She said one reason she did it was because when she started stand-up, Dat Fan was the champion of Last Comic Standing. Mm-hmm. And I was the champion of being a closeted girl with braces and dangly earrings. And I actually, do you know who Dat Fan is?
Yes, I know Dat Fan.
He was known for like doing race jokes about being...
He was Korean.
Yeah, Korean.
Yeah, I saw his Comedy Central Presents and his special on Comedy Central.
I've never seen either.
Really? They're great.
All I know
they're old. They're good though.
All I remember was watching clips of him being roasted on that show that Colin Quinn had in the early 2000s. Oh. On Comedy Central by Patrice O'Neill, where they kind of made fun of him for doing impersonating his Asian mom. Like the comedians are kind of calling him hacky in just like the most blatant way.
Yeah. He was pretty funny though. You should give it a little.
I probably won't. It sounds hacky to me.
No, he's not.
Just impersonating your Asian mom.
He does that a lot, but it's not like all of his jokes.
I don't know.
But it is like something that he does, you know. Or it's not his only thing. I think you should give him a watch. I remember finding him funny back in the day. But also was in 6th grade. So
she said I had this embarrassing joke. I'm like a coconut brown on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah.
And it's sad and weird and self-hating and truly not the way I feel at all.
It's lame.
Yeah.
It's lame.
These are kind of bits that she regrets because she think they were self-hating, but also they were just kind of... They were hacky.
They're assimilating jokes.
Yeah.
Those are jokes you say when you want white people to like you.
Pretty much. And they're hacky.
Yeah.
Moving on. I think I got what I needed out of that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2 fingers, man.
Fuck your rap time, man. Okay.
Jesus.
Comedian named Faith Choice.
Get angry at shit you can't do.
Shut up. Hers was a bit where she said a lot of clitorises look like roast beef or something like that.
But also, okay, first off.
Go say what you're saying.
First off, I want you to know that it's like not just the clitoris, it's like the labia majora. Or actually labia minora. So, oh man.
Shut up.
Javon needs to get laid, Joel.
Shut the fuck up. I hate you. All right, her bit was about that, and it's kind of a hacky premise because I've heard that 100 times.
Yeah, exactly. Like
she also said, I felt like I was body shaming. No, not only is it a body shaming joke,
it's also lame.
It's lame.
Yeah,
it's not original. None of that was original. At least with Sabrina Jalee's joke about her race, that's original to her.
Yeah, exactly.
There aren't that many half Pakistani, half Swiss people.
Yeah, the statistics of that aren't good.
But
that's why
I doubt she was even the first. I doubt she was the first person to say like, "Ooh, vagina looks like."
No,
like me.
She was not. That's been, dude, man. Like my dad knew. Like that joke's been old.
Patton Oswalt's the next one.
That's not even like a stand-up joke. That's like a joke that like you're.
I think I've heard him talk about how he thinks. I think I've heard this bit originally.
Oh, okay.
The joke he's talking about, as well as him talk about regretting it.
Oh, okay.
The joke was, are there gay retarded people? If so, where's their march? They should be allowed to have a march. And it says when I look back at this bit, it's just lazy. I'm trying to say the word retard and get that easy laugh.
Yeah.
I'm really embarrassed by anything offensive I do, but I'm very embarrassed when I've done something lazy.
Yeah, that's not a good joke.
No, it's not that.
I mean, like, it's kind of funny, but it's also, like, not. You know what I'm saying?
I want to read the comments.
Why?
I don't want to see what people's opinions, dude.
Why you want to do this to yourself? Man. Are they, like, bad? Are any of them, like... Or are they just a bunch of, like, praise? Like, that's undeserved.
Let me read this. All right. This guy quotes Paul Scheer's part of it, where he says, Paul Scheer, it came out that I wasn't in a white trace. Oh, it came out that I wasn't in the World Trade Center. When I saw it on TV, I ran down there because I was an aspiring stand-up comic looking for TV airtime. Oh, that's the sketch. I was wrong. The sketch is that he ran down to the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
All right. And I wonder if this specific shave and Paul to his ex-League co-star Steven Ranazizi. You remember him?
No.
He was the dude that like said he was in the World Trade Center in 9/11, and then it came out that he was lying.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
But he had like a whole stand-up bit about it, right?
Yeah.
Like he was talking about less of like he said it on the news, but didn't he also like joke about he did it in stand-up? Right?
I don't know.
I kind of remember that, like loosely.
But he got in trouble for that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is funny to me.
Yeah, that's funny, and
people were pissed that he appeared on podcasts. And like, what he did a massively disrespectful thing, but I'm like,
at the end of the day, like, who gives a shit? It's kind of funny.
And he isn't a sexual assaulter, and I'm like,
yeah, like this isn't like, and he's like, he did coming clean about it,
a douchey thing, but like,
yeah, but also he, didn't.
This never forgiveness culture is just
like
I can't do this all
like
day.
He did that, but at least he owned up to it. Like
eventually,
yeah. But also, I mean, like I get it. Like, but also, it's like such a minor thing. It's been years, man. Who gives a shit?
He didn't murder nobody.
Yeah,
he didn't ruin anybody's career.
If
anything, he hurt his own career by saying that shit.
His actions didn't affect us in any way.
Yeah.
You know what
it was disrespectful to victims. Is the main reason people have a problem with it. But other than that, like
and at this point, y'all. I mean, like, yeah.
Bobby's about to say, "Who cares about 9/11 victims, y'all? Like, they got what they deserved. I mean,
I think they need to like, I don't know, man, get over it. It's been, look at how long it's been, man. It's been 17 years, man. Those feelings can drive now in most states, legally. Dead air.
All right. Some of these, this comment says, some of these are good examples. Weird Al, Patton Oswalt, Cal Kinane, but others are just comedians self-policing themselves, handing themselves over to the PC police.
I don't think so.
I think that getting preemptively offended about a bit where you like play an overeager ally is a bit like getting scared for no reason.
Wait.
The Demi Abadujebe thing.
I'm lost on that. That sentence was too complex for me to follow.
Yeah, I knew it would be. But Demi Abadujebe's thing was he was doing a rap over the credits to Moonlight.
Yes, I get
and
that.
He was Will Smith.
Yeah,
saying,
you don't have to explain. I know his joke. I know what he did.
The bit is that that Will Smith is an overeager ally to the gay community.
Oh, okay. But I don't see that as like, I don't see how that's relative to like their comment about the PC police.
Nah, that's just how that guy thinks. But it's just like the getting offended. He didn't get offended, but it's just like, I could have just not done the bit. And he's just like, he felt bad about a bit that no one's had a problem with.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like, man, you gotta fucking... It's good to hear that people are thinking and that people that are making these decisions are thinking. And I think that other entertainers need to see this as like a role model-y type thing.
Yeah, but that's just like that is so extreme to me.
Yeah, but it's like talking about thinking. It's like talking about thinking about your jokes.
Yeah.
And, whether or not that's like something you would do, it just shows that, put some thought into this stuff and, realize what you say matters.
All right, let me read some of these other. Oh yeah, I want to talk about Happiness or whatever that show was.
What show?
That we keep on saying that. Kidding. That's it.
Jesus
with Jim
Christ,
Carrey.
Man, you looked right at it too. That's
yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
I totally forgot what it was called. Kidding.
Yeah.
It's a show premiering on Showtime.
Yeah.
I guess tonight with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, this Sunday that we're recording this.
Yeah.
Sunday. I don't know what's today's day.
It's on the fucking thing.
Where?
Bottom left.
What's today's date, man?
Bottom left of the screen.
Oh, September 9th.
Yeah.
All right. And it's about, he's like a Mr. Rogers character.
Oh, okay.
That gets something happens that's in his personal life that stresses him out.
Okay.
That's what I've got out of the trailers.
That's kind of what I'm seeing, yeah.
And I'm like, I think divorce or something. It looks interesting.
It does, but I also, man, it's kind of creepy. I see,
The premise?
not the premise, but his character and like all the stuff, all the ads I've seen, he looks kind of creepy.
Yeah.
He also reminds me of in the third season of Twin Peaks when Cooper like comes back and he's like I think it's like Ed or something. He wears the green suit.
Yeah.
He reminds me of that character.
Yeah.
Like kind of awkward and old and frail.
His character's
Awkward, old, and frail.
I think they're going for like the dark side of a children's entertainer, which has been done before.
Yeah.
And I think they're always going for a bit creepy when they do that too.
Yeah.
I've seen that done before. The dark side of a children's entertainer. A Mr. Rogers figure type.
I know some movies have definitely made them creepy.
Def the Poochie.
What?
Def the Poochie.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Moochie? You don't know that movie?
Oh, yeah. I think you're messing the title up, though.
It's Def the Poochie.
It's Death to something, yeah.
The Smoochie.
Smoochie?
Is it Def the Smoochie?
Yeah, I
could be wrong.
think Smoochie might be right.
Def to Smoochie.
Is that what it is? I think that is.
Yeah, it's Smoochie.
Can I see the like... Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, is that one creepy? Because I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it in forever, but I remember it being very dark.
Okay. What about... what's that one that Johnny Depp's in where he plays...
Oh, apparently it was hated by critics.
It was hated by
It was hated by critics. It was a commercial and critical flop, but it's garnered a cult following since.
Yeah. I get that just with its like, imagery and, plot.
Oh, it's Danny DeVito. It's a Danny DeVito film.
Oh, okay.
He directed it.
Yeah, so that tells you the level it is. It's pretty good, probably.
Danny DeVito, people forget he was a great like dark comedy director, and that's what he excelled at.
Yeah.
Has he directed episodes of Sunny?
I'm sure if he hasn't explicitly, I'm sure he donates a lot of ideas.
Yeah, probably.
Like I'm sure he does more than just act on that show.
Yeah,
of course. Like
because it's a dark comedy.
Yeah, and like
the show about bad people, and he's written movies about bad people.
There's a reason why he's in that show.
Yeah,
it's less about like let's just get Danny DeVito because he's Danny DeVito.
He already
he's
he was an executive producer before. He was an executive producer, I believe. Like he produced his production company produced it, I believe.
I think they might have picked it up. I don't know if they did it from the jump.
I'm not saying they picked up from the jump. I'm saying that he was a producer before he joined the cast.
Oh, I don't know. That's possible. Or maybe at least his production company. But
let me see.
I'm trying to think of another dark comedy. What's that?
Nope.
Can you tell me what that movie is where Johnny Depp plays like a film director and it's set in the 20s and it's filmed in black and white? Ed Wood.
It's not the 20s.
40s?
40s, 50s, yeah.
Okay.
It's based on the real life story of Ed Wood.
Who's like kind of creepy in himself.
He was a weird guy.
Yeah.
He was the exploitation like B movie director in the 40s and 50s.
Explain exploitation in that context. Like I get blaxploitation films.
That means just exploiting markets and ideas that are popular.
Oh, like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Swamp Thing type movies.
Like
corny.
Do you know those teen movies from the 50s and 60s? Like the beach movies?
Yeah, loosely.
Those would be considered black exploitation films themselves. They exploited the teen market and how popular.
Oh, okay. And like probably like the hacky horror films from the 50s.
Yeah.
Would kind of I get you. I didn't know that.
And
I only knew blaxploitation.
Yeah. And black people in the hood and pimps and gangsters were popular in the 70s, and that's why they made those movies.
And then like
and Ed Wood, he made like cheapo science fiction
okay.
and horror and stuff. And just like he was a really bad filmmaker, but he was dedicated to making his weird bad movies.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what inspired what's his name?
Burton.
Yeah. Tim Burton to make the movie.
Yeah.
And
what if it's tamer?
it's an over the top.
Is that Tim Burton?
Yes, Tim Burton.
Are we sure about that?
That's Tim Burton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's real tame for Tim Burton.
But it's in black and white. It stars Johnny Depp. It's
yeah, it's Tim Burton, but it's like, tame Tim Burton.
It's not really.
Really?
It's kind of an over the top movie in of itself because I doubt Ed Wood acted the way Johnny Depp acts in it.
It's not like as graphic, I guess.
No.
I mean, maybe the plot of it. It's a Tim Burton film my dad watches.
It's a good movie though.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it bits and pieces. It's never committed to watching.
It's pretty good. It's
there's like a Frankenstein scene, right?
No.
Oh, okay. No.
Are you thinking of a big giant guy?
No, I think I'm getting it confused with Son of Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. No. What's that?
Son of Frankenstein.
Son of Frankenstein.
That's from the 70s. That's Mel Brooks.
Oh, Mel Brooks.
Yeah, that's a parody.
Wait, Mel Brooks as an actor?
No, director.
It's Gene
Wilder.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. All right, that's what I was getting those confused. They're in black and white and old.
Yeah. That one's from the early 90s, Ed Wood.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember Johnny Depp's character, he's super happy and peppy the entire time. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's probably not how Ed Wood acted. It's even then it's an over the top character performance.
And this isn't even a child actor or a child show thing we're talking about now.
No,
that's a little off.
We've gone off from this.
So on one hand, I think Jim Carrey will be good for that role. I don't necessarily know the role, but I think he'll be good for it. He's who he is.
Good at playing.
He can be creepy and funny.
Yeah,
and I think his whole
and he can actually show actual warmth. You would believe him as a loving person, but you'd also believe him as a dark person.
Yeah, which is
sometimes he goes over the top in the dark stuff.
Which is relative to why I'm iffy on giving this a chance because of the things I've heard about him, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, it is Michel Gondry.
What are you talking about, man?
Michel Gondry, the director of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, what about it?
He's directing the show, so that's why the visual style of the show looked familiar to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I get that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you've seen.
I've seen.
Yeah, so
Sunshine.
it's. And Michel Gondry likes working with Jim Carrey, and
okay, that's understandable. Do you have anything about the plot? Because I'd like to know.
So it's also only the second time they've worked together.
Yeah, I believe that.
It follows Jeff, aka beloved children's. This is the Wikipedia page. Mr. Pickles. Bad name.
Also, he does kind of look like Stu Pickles, though.
Appreciated by children and parents alike, Mr. Pickles inkles a multi-million-dollar branding empire, but he faces a personal tragedy and a difficult family life.
Wait. Wasn't that the same clown dude on Elmo's World?
Mr. Pickles? That's Mr. Noodle.
Oh, Mr. Noodle, okay. Just getting me confused.
Yeah. And also, Mr. Pickles is also the title of an Adult Swim show.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That terrible Adult Swim show.
Yeah. But also, he looks like Stu Pickles.
He kind of does. So he's pretty much Mr. Rogers, but what if Mr. Rogers but dark?
Yeah.
That's the premise.
Is it he's fully acclaimed, he's Mr. Rogers level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it seems sort of public accessy, cable accessy.
No, but he's a world nationwide.
Yeah. Okay. Literally a Mr. Rogers character.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of interested just for the visuals because Michel Gondry is known for his trippy visuals.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about the plot though?
That's all the Wikipedia page has.
Really?
Yeah. You're probably gonna have to watch the show to get the rest of the plot.
Oh man, I just want to know more about it.
Michel Gondry. He's known for his music videos. You've seen, he directed
Name a few.
I'm looking for him.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of some.
You knew more of them.
Radiohead. He's directed Bjork music videos.
Can you give me some explicits, some specifics? Less about...
It went White Stripes.
Oh, which one? Do you know? Is it Icky Thump?
I'm looking them up.
Or one of those from that album? Didn't they have like a concept music video in that one? Like it was like multiple music videos for different songs, but they all...
Oh, he's the Everlong director.
Oh,
the
really?
music video for Everlong.
By Foo Fighters. Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a good music video. I will give them that. You know, Foo Fighters are...
Fell in Love with a Girl for White Stripes. That was him too.
Oh, okay. Wait, I don't know that one off the top of my head.
Isn't that the one with the Legos?
Lego? I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I'm looking at.
What's the name of the song again?
Fell in Love with a Girl.
Okay.
And we need to not just keep going.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, that is the one with the Legos. That's interesting, I guess. That's off the... No. I think that's off the same album. Yeah, big ups to White Stripes for committing to that black, white, and red thing for a while.
Yeah.
They were really into that.
That's what Jack likes to do. He likes the color theme, his stuff.
He's I don't even want to say underrated. He's a really interesting person. Or not person, but like artist.
Yeah.
Within all of what he does.
I'm not that into his music.
Me either.
And these days.
Yeah.
It's just
I do enjoy the White Stripes though.
I do like the visual aesthetic though.
Yeah.
He's now moved on to like blue and white.
He's bluesy. He's gotten really into like old blues. Actually, his music label actually refines old, like we're talking like 19th century recordings of blues music.
Yeah.
And re-releases them in not only modern formats, but like on wax and shit.
I could have sworn he did that one music video for Bjork. I'm thinking of some song Bjork had.
To be honest, I don't know any Bjork music videos. I couldn't name any Bjork songs, but I could be like, is this Bjork? This is Bjork.
Do Hyper Ballad. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I do. So Ed Wood was like early in Burton's like directing career, kind of.
No.
Not like super early, but that's like right around the same time as Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. So it's like before Burton got into like his weird fantastical stuff. He
was already weird and fantastical.
Yeah, but
he just said he hadn't
grounded.
overdosed yet.
Yeah, it was kind of grounded. Like Edward Scissorhands works because it's this fantastical character thrown into...
Beetlejuice is him, right?
Dude, I always forget about Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice and Pee-wee's Big Adventure is him.
Really?
Yeah.
And then didn't Judd Apatow do the new one?
Actually, I don't remember. Is that him?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Judd Apatow.
Pee-wee...
Is Pee-wee Herman like... I don't know how to feel about Pee-wee Herman and what he did.
Jerking off in a movie theater?
Yeah, but it was a porn theater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was... I don't know if that's wrong.
It's public indecency. That's why he got arrested.
Yeah, but is it because like Pee-wee's Playhouse appealed to kids?
Yeah, and that's pretty much why he destroyed his career.
Is that... Do you think that's worth it, though?
What?
Do you think that that's like... Okay, 2 questions on that one. Do you think that, one, he deserved to lose his career?
No, it was a different guy. It's a guy named John Lee who directed the new film.
Okay, when did the new film come out?
2016.
Okay.
It was probably...
it
was produced by Judd Apatow.
Oh, okay. But also, do you think that would happen today? Do you think that, one, he deserved to lose his career based on something like that?
I don't know if he deserved it. It's just what happens because he was a children's performer. Pee-wee was such a children's character at that point.
But do you think that would happen today?
It would destroy his career?
Yeah, or something like a situation like that.
Destroy his career, it would deeply embarrass him and people would roast his ass. I mean, I'd roast his ass. It's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's funny because it's like you're this star and that's kind of pathetic.
Like, are you seriously jerking off in public, dude? Come on.
Yeah, like
of
dude,
course.
You're making millions right now.
Yeah.
You know? Was he on drugs?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he was on drugs, no.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So,
Ooh, I haven't, you know what article I haven't read for this post-comedy stuff?
For the what?
You know what article I haven't read from this post-comedy stuff?
Oh, you haven't read for
Was
the post-comedy.
Was 8 signs you're in a post-comedy world?
Or 8 signs you're watching a
post-comedy
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at that, because I don't know what's in that. Also, speaking of Les Moonves,
I don't. You weren't speaking of him.
he was the
Who is he?
Yeah, I wasn't speaking. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah,
that's what it said on Vulture. It said he was stepping down. He was
from what?
The CEO of CBS.
Oh, okay.
Because of like multiple sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
And somebody asked James Corden last night when he won a Creative Arts Emmy for some show he did on Snapchat.
Okay.
They asked him about it, and he was like, "I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, this is really inappropriate. I just won an Emmy.
Yeah.
I do not." And that's weird. That is weird.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, look, James Corden got pissy with a reporter because he didn't want to talk about his boss." Like, do you want to talk about your boss doing bullshit?
When you're accepting an award for work
exactly.
you've done?
I don't like James Corden myself, but let's not.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
fair. I don't want to talk about that shit.
Yeah,
he's
no.
not. You
like, I get it. He sucks, but like,
you're assuming
you
James Corden's friends with Les?
Yeah, exactly. Just because he works for the company.
Exactly.
No.
Like
he,
what?
He probably's like you could be. He could.
We
James Corbin could like have never talked to this man.
Exactly. Are we going to panels for Big Bang Theory and going, "What do you think of your boss sexual assault?"
Yeah,
like, what's that got to do with me?
Exactly. Like it's like asking. It's like anyone not from America asking us how we feel. Like asking us at any point about our president. You know what I'm saying? Just out of context.
They're not judging us, or like.
I don't think they're judging.
They're not trying to harsh our buzz. It feels like that reporter's trying to harsh his buzz with that shit.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, like just fucking, that's inappropriate.
I don't think I'd have a problem with a foreign person asking me about our president.
I mean, what if that was like, what if you were like accepting an award and they were like, "I'm from Canada, how do you feel about your president?"
I would go, "Yeah, what about your president who just got accused of sexually assaulting somebody? Fuck out of here with that bullshit."
Okay. Yeah, that's the correct response. So here's that article.
All right. And this is the screenshot that they used is an image from the show Search Party on TBS.
Okay.
Which is a comedy drama where Alicia Shawkat.
It's Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yeah, it's Alicia Shawkat. Whatever.
No, it's Aaliyah Shawkat.
I just said that.
You said Alicia Shawkat again.
No, I didn't. I said Alicia Shawkat.
Dude, we have the audio. Don't even fuck with me on this.
It's Alicia. I said Alicia Shawkat. Do not stop the show.
Dude, you just said it wrong again.
I said Aaliyah Shawkat.
There you go.
I said
now
it.
You have it
I
right.
did not say it wrong the previous time either.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. No, I didn't. No,
We're not stopping the show just so you can one-up me. We're not stopping the show for your little one-upmanship bullshit.
Okay,
right?
man.
Right. Search Party is a show on TBS, and that's a screenshot they use for the article.
Yes.
And are like, this proves that we're in a post-comedy era. And I'm like...
Because Aaliyah Shawkat appears in some show doesn't mean it's post-comedy.
It's a show... It's a show where she is like searching for a missing girl just on a whim. That's like a former classmate that she barely knew, but she just kind of...
Oh, that's interesting.
It's an interesting premise. It's like a comedy drama for sure.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Especially coming from Aaliyah Shawkat, yeah.
But I think post-comedy... I feel like post-comedy is also trying to relabel comedy dramas or dramedies.
In a way, yeah.
And I'm like, no, they're just dramedies.
Yeah.
It's not post-comedy.
Like, this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
You know, you can talk to, actually, you remember that movie that came out in 1969 where, like, all these hippies are on a boat? You know what I'm talking about?
What? Who's in it?
The one dude I can remember besides, like, other 70s stars was the dude from The Honeymooners, the fat dude.
From The Honeymooners?
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie Gleason?
Yeah, Jackie Gleason's in it.
On a boat?
On a boat.
Yeah,
There's like this, I think it's like a prison boat or something.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
It's actually a pretty funny movie. Interesting.
It could be funny.
It came out in 1969.
I like It's a Mad World. You seen that?
No.
Oh, that's a classic right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
At all. I've never even heard of it.
You ever seen Rat Race?
Like the 90s one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's based on. Rat Race is
it's based on...
it's essentially a 90s updating of It's a Mad Mad World.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
That movie starred all of like that century's, like the early part of that century's like comedy stars that were still alive at that point.
Yeah.
Like the Three Stooges are in it for like a cameo.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot of like popular comedy stars in it. It's very good.
That's interesting.
It's madness. That movie's just crazy.
Yeah, I would assume by the title. But also, you could say that Rat Race is really just like the end of, the 80s and 90s going into the new millennium.
Did it come out at that time?
It came out in like 98.
Yeah, then it was...
It kind of capped it off, man. It kind of...
Capped off what?
It kind of capped off the 90s. Like 90s culture. Like, because Seth Green's in it with like spiked up hair. And like his compadre has like weird piercings and shit.
I don't think there's like much significance to the movie other than I do think it's a good comedy. I just don't think it's not significant. It's just...
I know, I'm saying it's like the last movie where that shit should have been okay. That was like when, showcasing these sorts of styles and stuff could die.
You got weird declarative statements that make no sense.
It's an aesthetic that I'm glad... I like to put that as the end point of that aesthetic.
Yeah, but my point is that it's just a decent late 90s comedy film.
Okay. I just wanted that to be the end of all of it, but it wasn't.
No, it's just
I wished that Rat Race was the end of that aesthetic.
All right,
and Smash Mouth, because Smash Mouth was in it.
Was it?
Yeah, Smash Mouth had a concert.
That was there
as Smash Mouth,
but they were in the mid. They didn't until like the beginning of the early 2000s.
They ended with Shrek. Yeah,
there's an impulse.
No, they didn't end with Shrek. They ended in like 2004 with that. And then I saw her face.
No, this is a list of... I'm a believer is a song from the 60s. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's when Smash Mouth ended. Was after they released the cover.
Yeah, that's by the Monkees.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I guess this list is an article... I thought it was shows, but I guess it's just like components. Mm-hmm. Like tropes of these types of the post-comedy show. Yeah. With air quotes. That's why I'm doing fingers. Y'all can't see that. The article says, an impulse toward bleakness driving a recent cohort of comedies. People tend to die in them or fear for their lives or generally be suffused with sadness. Their works that often cross genres or combine tropes from disparate, seemingly ill-fitting forms. It's a cohort that includes both movies like Get Out, something that begins as an awkward comedy and turns into a horror about race, and TV shows like Search Party, which is a classic disappeared girl trope to get a satire of millennial anew. It's post-comedy. It's not. It's dramedy. These are dramas.
Actually, do you know what the term postmodern means? Do you know what the term postmodern means?
Yeah.
I think they're using it in that context. I think it's like comedy that assumes itself as comedy and goes further.
Yeah, but these are just dramedies that they're describing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because, like, postmodernism is that...
You're too open to new ideas.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
That's a joke.
I think that makes you seem
like
an asshole.
That was a joke.
I think that... Because, like, postmodernism is, like... In culture is, like... Or in media is, like, this assumption of old media, right? Like, postmodern would be,
it's an awareness of old media.
It's kind of like a meta, almost.
Yeah, it's like postmodern critique is all over the works of, like, again, Dan Harmon. It's all over Community. It's what parts what made Community and Rick and Morty popular, is that they're aware of these other tropes and stuff like that.
So, part of me wonders, because, like, to bring up Get Out is, like, Get Out's very postmodern. It takes, like... tropes and
it's a postmodern movie.
Archetypes from these other genres and kind of turns it on its head. So I'm thinking that like post comedy is like, oh, we're taking the outlet of comedy and sort of using it for certain things, and I think it's like a encapsulation of a trend rather than like a new dubbing. I think it's like I don't know if it's accurate. but I think that they're trying to get to the point where we're saying, like, we're in a post, like, comedy is now in this stage of what could classically be defined as post-comedy.
Let me read the rest of this, like, the first part.
Because, like...
Even though many post-comedies hum along on a feeling of ambiguity, am I allowed to be laughing? At no point do any of these shows say, are you allowed to be laughing?
So is that... Okay.
Like,
I see.
What does that even mean? Like, no, the show is asking you to laugh. It's just got dramatic elements too.
This is... Oh, yeah.
This is so pretentious.
I was giving it that pretentious, like, postmodern look on it. They're claiming, like, if they were saying the same things I was saying about postmodernism with it, yeah. I think that makes sense, but they're not doing that. And what they're doing is, like, saying that, like, oh, we're releasing comedy that you can't laugh at.
Am I supposed to be legitimately worried for these people right now? Well, yeah. I mean, the show can have you be concerned about the protagonist as well as laugh.
Yeah, that's a good show. That means it has you engaged.
Exactly.
You're engaging with the characters and the plot at that point.
Some shows don't really ask you to be that, like, concerned or scared.
Yeah.
Like Kimmy Schmidt, I don't ever feel like Kimmy or Titus are going to end off or any other characters are going to end off, like, too bad ever.
Yeah.
It's a somewhat dark show in the premise, at least.
But you know the format.
They're going to be fine
eventually. It's like one of those, like... Remember that episode of fucking Family Guy where they killed off Brian?
Yeah.
Then he came back the next show.
No, it was a couple episodes later.
Yeah, but, like, it's that continuation.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
With Kimmy Schmidt. I don't think that there's, like, I don't understand how you can't have, like, an attachment to
that was more like an experiment to get people to care again, really.
Yeah, I know. But, like, I'm using that as, like, a sort of trope example.
Like, reset the clock is a common thing in sitcoms.
Yeah, like The Simpsons, you know.
And they do it all the time.
Yeah. So,
there are now enough of them that you can start to see patterns in how they work, how they're put together, and what they look like. Here are some of the telltale signs you're watching something made in a post-comedy era. I hate this shit so much. All right. The first element, a confused, ambiguous protagonist. One of the biggest distinguishing characteristics between your garden variety sitcom and this darker area of comedy storytelling is the protagonist, who resists both the generally unchanging status quo of a sitcom lead and the full-on unrelenting anti-hero qualities of a prestige drama.
I don't... So, to me, what this ambiguous protagonist is representative of any sort of storyline that basically allows the protagonist to be...
Unlikable.
Not unlikable, but to be basically the embodiment of the reader or the audience. It's like they make the character ambiguous so that the reader... I'm speaking because, like, you can go back into, like, 60s novels of you're putting this ambiguous protagonist in... That is the...
That's not what I'm getting out of what they're saying. That's not what they're saying. To me.
What are you saying? What are
I'm pretty much saying.
They're saying?
I think they're saying they're a sitcom main character that doesn't necessarily have to be the most likable person, which is kind of uncommon in sitcoms. Which it's not really.
No, not really.
I mean, Seinfeld is a prime example of a main character that's not all that likable. Same with Always Sunny.
Monk's, like, not so much unlikable but annoying.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Rick and Morty, a show that is definitely a comedy. Also, congratulations to Rick and Morty. They won Outstanding Animated Program.
Oh, good for them. Yeah, that's good.
At the Emmys last night. At the Creative Arts Emmys, which is the untelevised Emmys.
Which is the, like... That's the, like...
The ones we don't think are important enough for the main broadcast.
That's like the...
congratulations to Cat Williams. He won Outstanding Guest Actor on a Comedy Series. He appeared on Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
He was pretty good, too.
Really? Good for him.
It was a sort of dramatic episode, because, you know, Atlanta's a post-comedy. No, Atlanta's a comedy drama. So, Atlanta, I will give Atlanta this. That show is very much a postmodern comedy. postmodern show. It does whatever it wants to. Sometimes it'll be very dramatic the entire way through. Sometimes it'll be very, its own dry, absurd, dark comedy.
It's almost like these people are like, it's almost like these are film students that aren't creative. They just study film, but are like super, super hyped up because they are like trying to put a name on an era during its like existence. It's like they're excited because they learned some terms and now they're like, oh, post-comedy. We're post-comedy now, y'all. And that they're like pushing this like era identity of things.
The main character
too hard.
In a dark comedy tends to lean. They're wafflers. They're trying to do good things, want to think themselves as good, or have areas of their lives that are just regular people trying to do normal, familiar stuff. You said dark comedy. That's not a post-comedy. A dark comedy is a different thing.
Dark comedy is its own thing.
Do they mean post-comedy or dark comedy? Because you just said dark comedy.
I'm also getting confused. Is like this a category or is this like an era? Or are they using them both interchangeably?
I'm not sure, which makes me really question this article.
Really?
No, I already hated this article from the beginning. All right, but then by accident or circumstance or persuasion, they get pulled into a different kind of story and tend to find themselves digging graves or laundering money or frantically cleaning blood off a neighbor's dog. Think a search party story, sitting down for a Brooklyn brunch with her delightful shallow friends. That's Aaliyah Shaw Katz's character. That's Maybe's character. I'm not even gonna say her name. I'm just gonna say Maybe.
Okay. I'll know what you're talking about.
Or incapable of shaking her new obsession with hunting for her missing friend. Or Barry Berkman from HBO's Barry, Barry's a show starring Bill Hader that I really want to see, where he plays a assassin.
Oh yeah. Wait, isn't he like he's an assassin, but he's trying to like
in an acting class? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Who would like to get out of the crime business and make new friends at acting class, but who can't seem to stop killing people. It can also take the form of a comedy about knowing and defining it. That's a dark comedy drama. That's what Barry is. It's not a post-comedy. You can still laugh. The show's not saying, you shouldn't be laughing at this. This is dark. You can still laugh and also go, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You can do both at the same time.
Comedy is meant to make you a little uncomfortable.
Not always,
but like I think that's how comedy works.
In a dark comedy?
Yeah, of
that's
course.
very much a goal.
But I think that like comedy in its own right is a taking logic but using it for other things. So I think it's like kind of something that can allow for new situations in which people don't know how to feel in.
I said comedy a lot, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I don't understand this whole thing they're trying to do. I don't like describing this in this like. I don't like lumping all these things together in this. This new is like term this boring. That has less crap. That has like very little clout.
Some college kids thinking they can define fucking everything.
This is like film students.
This is so This is my problem. This is pretentious and like looking your little college.
It's kind of like fan academia.
Nose up at.
This is kind of like fan academia.
All right.
It's like trying to bring this intellectual side to your fandom.
It can also take the form of a comedy about knowing and defining oneself, as in Atlanta or Baskets or Transparent. These are comedies. These are comedy dramas about, characters who are trying to find themselves. Mm-hmm. They're still just comedy dramas, not post-comedies. They're comedy dramas. Which also, what actually going to piss me off when I think about it?
What?
I don't know. Are they gonna do? Are they gonna do? No, I know what I mean.
No. Just the way you say "I don't know," it just seemed like what really pisses me off, man. I don't know. That just made me laugh. I want to take that clip out of this.
Are they gonna do comedy? Are they gonna do the outstanding comedy program at the actual ceremony, or have they already done it for Creative Arts?
What are you talking about?
Because Atlanta's nominated for outstanding comedy. And I wouldn't even think, I didn't know it was nominated for outstanding comedy. Mm-hmm. I'm also like, now I'm thinking about it, I might get pissy if it wins. Even though I love Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, just because it's like, because Vulture wrote an article, it's like, if if Atlanta wins, that's a major win for the post-comedy era. And I'm like,
okay.
Just because you just call it post-comedy,
it
already makes me kind of mad that it's a comedy drama winning best comedy at the Emmys once again.
Yeah, I get that.
This makes me not want it to win again. Like Atlanta, everyone's been praising Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everyone's been praising Atlanta. That could just compete in its own category as comedy drama or in the actual drama category.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's got to win outstanding comedy. Once again, the Emmys refuse to acknowledge fucking actual comedies.
Yeah. I don't really like this new... I think it's like we're trying to, create a new genre out of something that isn't really like a genre.
There's already a genre. There's already a genre for this post-comedy shit. It's comedy drama.
Yeah.
Or dark comedy. Both are already genres. Stop trying to create a new genre label. Well, there doesn't need to be one.
Yeah, no. This is... they're trying
and also, you're only writing this because of Nanette and like 2 comedy specials.
Yeah.
That's really why you're writing this.
Which even those, I'm not grasping at their idea here. Because everything that they're describing already has a name. And I don't think that this is a trend that ascends the era of comedy we're in.
These comedies rely on tone and plot that shifts between serious and funny.
Transcends. Wrong word.
No, that shifts. It says it right there.
No, I'm saying what I was saying earlier, the point I said about ascends
what you were
comedy
saying.
era we're in. I'm saying that it's transcends rather than ascends.
Oh yeah,
it's just inaccurate.
It ascends to heaven. Gotcha.
Yeah, it ascends beyond. Yeah.
And the protagonist has to straddle both sides. Those are called comedy dramas. Comedies that shift between serious and comedic.
Comedy drama.
I've said it. I'm sorry for saying these words a lot, but goddamn, stop trying to create the funny bit players. So you mean like lighthearted comedic side characters in comedy dramas?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once you got sometimes funny, sometimes bleak protagonists in place, you need a supporting cast to help flesh out the different tones. Often it breaks down to some friends or siblings or coworkers who are initially designed to be funny, happy ones, but as the fiction evolves, they often get shade of more nuanced emotional stories. In BoJack Horseman, this is Mr. Peanut Butter, or any of the many side characters who exist mostly to provide hilarious bits of silliness, e.g. Tom, Jumbo, Grumbo.
These people are just really late to how good comedy has gotten.
Yeah.
This is just a manifestation of people that don't take comedy seriously.
Yeah, I was rewatching BoJack Horseman yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a really funny show, as well as in like 2 of its darkest episodes of its last season.
Yeah.
The episodes both funny and dark.
Yeah.
The show's a comedy drama.
Yeah.
It's also a show where the main character is a horse.
Yeah.
There is a obvious little kid in a stilt character. that's a character. He's literally a little kid in a stilt.
So this is just like people that have taken media very seriously, wanting to... they're late to the party on comedy.
I'm not going to read all of this.
They're like the people that refuse to say how influential a cartoon can be.
Yeah.
They're the people that...
I mean, I did acknowledge BoJack Horseman, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're the same people that would, like, cast out Steven Universe.
It's the same...
for having good writing.
Yeah, it's the same tone that pissed me off about this tweet I saw the other day.
Yeah.
Where a guy was like, Twin Peaks Season 3 is the best show of all time. And a guy said, I'm sorry, you mean Simpsons Season 4? And that guy was like, seriously? Fuck off. It's a sitcom and it's a cartoon? Fuck off. And I'm like, fuck you. Yeah, you fuck off. What's wrong with a sitcom or a cartoon?
Yeah, they're, yeah, it's...
Only live-action dramas can be said to be a great TV.
It's elitist, and this is a manifestation of elitism.
It's elitism. It's all elitism. That's what mainly pisses me off. It's just...
These are drama nerds trying to appropriate comedy.
Yeah. Just pretending like they have any respect for comedy, but in reality, they really don't.
Yeah, and they don't get it. They want to think that this is monumentous, and it's like, yo...
They have no sense of humor.
We've been doing this for years. We've been doing this a comedy that affects and comedy that is real and brings up real points for years.
And they're like, this...
You know,
and I haven't really assigned the same political feelings that a lot of other podcasts I've heard talk about post-comedy have. The whole neoliberalism.
I think it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Because I think that Republicans could say this sort of shit.
Yeah.
I do think that the net and everything does have to do with a little bit of the neoliberal capitalists.
The grim plot movers. We already know what that means. Dark plots.
Yeah.
Obvious. That's
but that's comedy, man.
Real human bodies often.
Why aren't they bringing up death at a funeral?
This show right here that's been advertised.
I can't.
That's a comedy drama in and of itself.
Oh, Shameless?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you never seen Shameless?
What I knew of Shameless was not in the amount of development it's had, because there's like a older kid there, and I haven't followed the show since he was a teenager or a younger kid. So I didn't. The things that were going on in there were not what I related to.
You might be right about this postmodern thing, because self-referentiality. But like that's a central element of postmodernism.
But they're not. They're kind of
literal darkness, and also the show looking dark is what they mean, like the actual look of the show. Mm-hmm. Like they're saying that a comedies typically are brightly lighted, like how. Their example is Walking Dead looking literally dark.
They're having a narrow view of comedy, though. Yeah. That's a very narrow view of comedy.
You can light a show darker and it's still a comedy. It can still be a...
look at Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It has a sort of a dark tone. It's not all happy and cheery. They show a lot of...
they mean the actual look of the show.
Well, I mean inside the bar.
Yeah. But I don't think Always Sunny, lighting-wise, is ultimately that dark, lighting-wise.
I'd say, from what I've seen of Atlanta, it's kind of got, a dark tone.
In terms of look, as well as tone? Is that what you mean?
As far as look.
You said tone.
I meant, lighting tone.
Yeah.
Color tone.
Yeah, it's kind of dark, both in look and in style.
Yeah.
Reversing expectations.
That's just comedy.
Literally, that's how jokes work.
Yeah, dude. I think that this is just
knock knock. Who's
shit.
There? Interrupting cow. That's you didn't
that's...
expect a cow to be there.
That's
exactly. Literally how jokes work. That's not new. That's an element central to comedy.
Yeah.
Existential dread. Shut up. Sorry.
This is just.
How funny does comedy need to be is probably the headline that pisses me off alone.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me mad. This is what I was talking about. Does Atlanta have a shot at the Outstanding Comedy Emmy? Yes, it does. Okay. And it doesn't mean anything because,
it's
many comedy dramas that have won.
Yeah.
Have won.
Man, it doesn't make sense, and I think they're trying to do something that doesn't need to be done.
Did you when you looked it up on Google, you put post comedy Volt
for Vulture?
Yeah.
I just wanted it to come up easy.
Put post comedy Death Vault.
I don't get that one.
You don't remember that? You don't remember the Crusades memes from about a year ago? I don't know.
I was busy getting laid back then.
That's not funny. It's really not that funny.
Okay.
You've done this joke like 5.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, get laid.
Yeah, no.
You can...
But sometimes it's funny. But I just, man, they're making something out to be something that already, it's fucking comedy. They're just realizing how good comedy's gotten. And they're 50 years late to the party.
Let me look at this. Post-comedy podcast episode roundup.
Dark comedy.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, 21 times our favorite comedy podcast got dark. That's part of their post-comedy articles.
I just don't... This seems like a gimmick. This seems like a marketing scheme to promote new shows.
Okay, Allison, I'm not gonna always read. I'm just gonna guess with these podcast episodes.
Allison Rosen. That's good, but okay.
And then I'm gonna read it.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Allison Rosen is your new best friend, Tiffany Haddish. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison Rosen used to be the assistant on what's his name? Adam Carolla's podcast.
Oh, okay.
And then she started hosting her own comedy podcast where she interviews comedians. She did an episode with Tiffany Haddish. You know who she is. She's been everywhere.
Yeah.
And most likely, I'm guessing Tiffany Haddish told her life story. I've heard her tell her life story on another podcast before she was famous. It's a pretty dark life story, so I'm assuming that's probably what they're talking about. Like, she's been, like, sexually assaulted. Like, a lot of dark shit has happened in her life, and that's probably what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's not post-comedy, by the way, because comedy podcasts are literally just people talking.
Yeah. These are people.
It doesn't necessarily, that doesn't make it post-comedy.
Like, when you do a podcast, that doesn't necessarily mean
it's people
you're on
speaking to each other.
Yeah, it's more of a conversation than an act for the most part.
It's not written at all. I mean, let me read the description. Tiffany Haddish and her comedy are a source of light in this world. The same cannot be said about her heartbreaking backstory. It's exactly what I thought it was. All right, moving on. I knew it was that. All Killer, No Filler, Gary Ridgway, The Green River Killer, Parts 1 and 2. I'm guessing this is a true crime podcast that's also a comedy podcast where they talk about true crime stories, but also make jokes about it.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the Green River Killer. So,
It's not post-comedy.
It's not post-comedy. It's comedian. It's like, I've also listened to several podcasts where they do that.
It's comedians talking about
true crime.
Yeah, they're just fucking
but making jokes about it.
Yeah, just fucking nerds.
Yeah,
doing what they do. Like,
all right, Beautiful Anonymous, The Whirlpool Galaxy. That actually could not post comedy, but it's. Look, all right, Beautiful Anonymous. Do you know the pronunciation?
Chris Gethard,
yes,
my Lord and Savior, is he just takes phone calls from
anonymous people.
From anonymous strangers, and they go where they want.
Yeah.
It's a genuine
Sometimes
conversation.
it gets dark.
Yeah.
Because, these are just anonymous people.
And it's Chris Gethard, who is a noted, sufferer of mental illness that has been extremely open in talking about his life.
There was an episode where a lady or a guy called in, this might be the episode, and told him they were going to jail. Like, they were pretty soon going to jail. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is not post-comedy. And also, Chris Gethard doesn't even feel the need to make the conversation necessarily comedic.
Yeah.
It's literally just a conversation.
Person.
Yeah.
And that's what this show's about.
When Chris Gethard announced the end of the Chris Gethard Show on True TV, he mentioned how his career has evolved as he's inched towards 40. Between the brilliant career suicide and the often moving Beautiful Anonymous, the subject matter has leaned heavier and perhaps connected to a larger audience than the wonderful but culty TCGS. The memorable Whirlpool Galaxy could be highlighted as a prime example of the exciting new direction his career is headed. Gethard patiently guides an astrophysicist through opening up about horrific trauma and a truly inspiring story for kind touch few could pull off. The sporadic laughs are a cathartic release to an overwhelmingly dramatic tale of lost family conflict and resiliency in the face of darkness. It's probably a beautiful episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I may or may not listen to it.
Yeah, I don't care.
You're not gonna listen to
it? Not only do I not care about that episode, I also don't care whether or not you listen to it. So
I'm just saying that.
I was making a joke.
Yeah, it was kind of mean. You know?
Yeah, I know, and that was the thing, because it was unnecessary. It was like uncalled for mean, and that was why I thought it was.
I can be uncalled for mean.
when it's done upon you.
Yes, then you've gone too far.
Sounds a lot like your dad, Javon.
You don't know my father, so you can't even say that.
Hey, but am I wrong?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You don't want to.
You're
I'm not wrong. Okay.
No, he's like that. Called Chelsea Peretti.
Said about my dad.
IFF. Back before Murder Podcast with her own genre, there was a call-in show called Chelsea Peretti. Host Chelsea Peretti answered unscreened calls from strangers. She was usually on the hunt for a call of her story about murder, bear attacks, or black mold. More gruesome details, the better. The episode IFF, which stands for I Feel Fat, opens with the screeching strings of the psycho score, followed by the greeting, eat shit and die everybody. As callers ramble on, excited to be talking to one of the greats herself. Peretti quietly slips a simple I Feel Fat into the conversation. Sliding to what she refers to as tantrum mode, the I Feel Fat gets bolder, faster, louder, and squeakier as episodes go on. And each time she says it without listeners responding, it gets more and more satisfying. Whether they could hear it or ignore it for debate doesn't matter.
That's funny.
Oh, that sounds like she's just trolling the listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't sound like she was just trying to be like.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like Beautiful Anonymous, but she's not getting anything out of it.
It's not really trying to even like be dark or anything.
Yeah.
It's literally because that just makes people uncomfortable, and that's literally what trolling is. She was just trolling them by making them personally uncomfortable.
That's funny.
Like,
that's cool though.
It's her talking and she just screamed, "I feel fat," and like that was probably what the joke was, or something like that.
That's fucking funny, man.
Oh, the champs, Miss Pat.
Oh, okay.
This is the podcast that I heard Tiffany Haddish tell her backstory on.
Weird.
Champs was a podcast where Neil Brennan and Moshe Kasher talked. Yeah, Moshe Kasher.
Yeah.
Talked about talked to black people.
Okay.
It was mostly black dudes, and that was the premise. Talk to black dudes, but then they also started talking to black women.
Oh, okay.
And Miss Pat, I remember talking to Miss Pat's episode.
Uh-huh.
It's again a dark story of like grow up in the ghetto dealing with bullshit.
So wait, like why are they going after talking to black people?
Cause
is it just like a link? Like, are they just trying to make like a cultural link?
You know Neil Brennan, right? You know who he is?
Yeah, I know Neil Brennan. And I know Moshe.
He says he has a lot of black friends.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably it.
So is it like a? I don't know, man.
That's just the premise. Man.
I mean, if y'all don't know who Neil Brennan is, he was wasn't he like an executive producer of the Chappelle Show?
He was the co-writer and co-creator of Chappelle Show.
Oh,
with
shit,
Dave Chappelle.
even more than that. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
They were like a duo when they created the show.
Yeah.
A writing duo.
They were writing.
The star
writers.
was Chappelle.
Yeah, but
and he wasn't even a
writers.
stand-up at the time. He was just a writer.
Yeah, Neil Brennan.
Yeah. A funny feeling. A hag's visit with Audrey Plaza.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's Betsy Sidaro.
Uh-huh.
The lady that's supposed to be represented in the jacket.
Oh, I thought that was John from Garfield.
It's a cartoon image what we're looking at.
They have a very Garfield-esque look to them.
She's a funny comedian. She's a funny improviser.
Mm-hmm.
She's an improviser, a UCB person. She hosts a podcast about horror movies with two dudes. I don't know Funny Feeling as well. And Audrey Plaza, she goes by a hag or something on Twitter or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know what this episode's about, so I'm just going to read the description. It doesn't get much darker than a podcast solely about real life ghost stories. Yeah, it does. A podcast about real shit, not ghosts.
Yeah.
Used to be LA regulars and paranormal enthusiasts Betsy Sidaro and Marcy Giroux have been sharing spooky stories on A Funny Feeling for almost a year now. But this early episode with self-proclaimed evil hag Audrey Plaza stands out as an unsettling ride through several encounters with the unknown. Oh, it's pretty much her telling stories about where she thought she saw a ghost.
Oh, Aubrey?
Yeah.
No, that's not that weird.
It could be interesting, but I'm probably not going to listen to it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Especially since I don't believe in ghosts, so I will get nothing out of it.
Yeah, that sounds boring.
High and Mighty Dead Dads. John Gabris is the host.
Dad.
John Gabris is the host of High and Mighty.
Has a dead dad.
Yeah, his dad died.
Yeah, fucking.
And most likely he just talks with another comedian.
His dad's dead.
Yeah.
That's like a human thing.
Yeah.
Those are comedians that are also people not doing comedy.
Yeah. They probably make jokes.
Because that's who they are.
Yeah, but like, it's, again, they're talking about their fathers dying.
Yeah.
I've also listened to a podcast that's also a comedy podcast where they talk about dead moms.
Yeah.
And
this isn't post-comedy. These are comedians.
Being human.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's it. Dude.
This is what makes me mad. This is what makes me mad about this post-comedy bullshit.
This is just like, y'all are just late to the game. Y'all are trying to claim something.
The hilarious world of depression. Maria Bamford talks bipolar 2 while her pugs eat Nilla wafers. I've also listened to a podcast hosted by a comedian about depression, like years ago.
Yeah.
Where he interviewed Maria Bamford.
Yeah.
And it was a dark episode, but most episodes of that show were dark.
Yeah, it's about depression.
Yeah. It's a dark show.
Comedians, are people and do things like other people.
The hilarious world of depression host John Moe sits down with comedian and actress Maria Bamford and her bugs to talk about her long struggle with mental illness. Just as she is in her specials in her show, Lady Dynamite, Bamford is brutally honest about everything she's experienced, from sexual thoughts associated with OCD to her most manic period, during which she filmed holiday commercials for Target. I actually don't know that.
It was in her show.
Was it?
It was in not only her Netflix show, it was in
you're
one
right.
of her latest stand-up.
You're right. She did mention
specials. And they do a whole episode with the Target thing.
Yeah.
I think it was actually endorsed by Target.
The show?
Pardon no.
The show?
Maybe that episode.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
It's Netflix. They don't have sponsors.
I don't know, man.
She talks about what her... You're going to allow me to give you shit.
I just don't care about that point, so continue.
She talks about her hospitalizations were really like, as opposed to what was depicted in Lady Dynamite, how she finally got a correct diagnosis of bipolar 2 and started taking the right medication. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Desposito.
Yeah, Desposito. She also describes her life now and how she stays healthy from stipulating reasonable work hours in her contract and doing a strategic amount of touring. She actually canceled her show.
Why?
Because she couldn't handle it.
Wait, like her series?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She canceled because she couldn't handle the schedule of making the show.
Oh, okay.
And that's that comedy podcast she also does. The one that does the Ghost podcast. The one about horror movies.
Wait. Who?
Betsy Sidara.
When did you bring her up? Earlier?
Yes, when I was talking about this one.
What did the horror show, what did that have to do with it?
It's the next one.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, I didn't know. We were still talking about the episode with Maria Bamford, dude.
She does a show with these two dudes who are also used to be people about horror.
Oh, that's you could have just said, and the next one is the podcast I was talking about earlier.
Or you could just keep up.
Man, that didn't make any sense.
Or you could just keep up.
That genuinely just made no sense.
Oh my God, just keep up.
All right.
All right.
You're talking to dude. Don't give me that shit when you freak out about fucking dump trucks stopping at a stop sign about 15 minutes later. All right.
What are you talking about,
bruh? You freak out about that shit when I've already planned ahead and it was down the street visibly a minute ago. All right. Don't give me this shit.
15 minutes later, anyways.
Yeah. Fucking read.
Keep up, bitch. Swear to God.
Over here.
That's it, man. That's it. I'm tired of your shit, bro.
Can't even pay attention to the road.
Let's go, bro.
I would not. If I were you, I would not.
Ooh.
I would not.
A genuine threat.
I would not even challenge me or do anything that could prompt a defense in me. Okay. I got you in the nuts that one time, man. You don't know what I'm capable of, all right?
This has been 2004 Podcast Odyssey. We're about to go on this park and fuck each other up.
Continue.
All right. Horny for Horror isn't particularly dark, but is improvised horror. For episode 25, top-tier guests Nicole Byer and Drew Tarver play iconic horror dolls Annabelle and Chucky. That's dark comedy. They improvised. And Chunky, a chubbier Chucky, who was possessed by the spirit of serial killer Bob Costas. That's not post-comedy. That's just improv.
That's just comedy.
Improv.
That's just comedy,
yeah.
man.
We got it. I'm done talking about post-comedy. This is so stupid.
It's just, it makes no sense, man.
This improv for humans episode where they did a semi-dark comedy bit.
A comedian made a dark joke post-comedy.
Exactly.
No, man. This is dumb. This is real dumb.
Also,
they're just trying to cash in on
post-comedy era. If we're talking about real human darkness that's been put into comedy. How about Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
That man talked about setting himself on fire while doing freebase. Yeah. That legit happened to him, and he made a bit out of it on his stand-up. Yeah. That's post. Is that post-comedy?
We've been in the post-comedy era since comedy existed. All right. This is stupid.
Some podcasts called Hysteria Supreme Headache. Hysteria originated this summer out of the current chaotic state of our country, so honestly, any of its episodes satisfy an itch for dark comedy. No, it doesn't. Its hosts are comedians, journalists, and activists, striking an entertaining tone that balances depressing realities and intelligent jokes. This episode in particular was the show's first recorded after Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. A key moment in the state of women's reproductive rights. Something a bit important to host Aaron Ryan and this episode's co-hosts, Ziwi Fumudo and Blair Imani, two of Ryan's rotating squad of co-hosts, all of whom are women. At the same time, they're also laugh off an anti-abortion Roe vs. Wade movie currently being made. Really? Yeah. They're really making that? I mean, I'm not that surprised.
Wait, about Roe v. Wade?
Dude, a Roe v. Wade anti-abortion movie.
Oh, anti-abortion?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame. Dude, they're trying to repeal Roe v. Wade.
I know.
So that's not surprising to me.
Most notably, this episode bursts the show's favorite portmanteau, sad, aggressive, when something is progressive yet sad that it even needed to happen. Like always, their segments are a satisfying mix of ironic, thoughtful, and weird, as they use their expertise in apologizing to judge the weak and sorry and into the silly and strange hills to die on. Truly, every episode of Hysteria features clever and blunt jokes and new catchphrases to educate and motivate you do your week, even on a second listen. I feel like if I listen to Hysteria, it's going to be some neoliberal bullshit.
Oh, yeah, I've lost interest.
Good. Last podcast on the left, Jonestown series. I've listened to this show.
About Jonestown?
No. The last podcast on the left.
Oh, okay.
It's a true crime podcast where three comedians talk about, and they did I guess they did a thing. And all their episodes are like very long episodes that are chunks about.
Yeah.
And so it's probably what that show usually does, which is make riffs and joke while also talking about really dark, real shit. And comedy. Jonestown is infamously dark, but you know.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Comedians talking about other shit.
What's the next one? Porn fan chats from Browsers Forum. Lou reads the internet to you.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
If you thought about porn video comment section where the redhead viewpoint for the saddest manner society has to offer, then you've never spent time on a porn message board. Alright. The dark dots found on Browser's official message boards. To enjoy this episode, you have to be somewhat okay with laughing at people and not with them. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's comedy.
I don't care. I may listen to that, though. It actually does sound kind of funny.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mental Illness Happy Hour. That's the show I was talking about that had Maria Bamford on.
Oh, okay.
Rob Delaney. If you've seen Rob Delaney on shows like Catastrophe and movies like Deadpool 2, you've seen him play broad, absurd characters with a healthy dose of empathy. His body seems to always be on the line, like he'd be game to shatter himself for a joke. And if you've heard him speak seriously about his real life, you know he had one of the hardest rock bottoms any comedian's ever gone on a podcast to describe the rock bottom, and his body really did shatter. He got into a car crash while drunk driving.
Oh, into the Department of Water and Power building.
Yeah.
He was trying to kill himself.
Yep. He rebounded into one of the funniest people working today, using surgical skills at joke writing and an innate understanding of the nature of Twitter to slingshot himself to fame. There's no need to perpetuate the trite idea that comedy comes from tragedy. Most comedians have fucked up past because it doesn't always, and many don't. Well, but this is a standard episode of Mental Happy Hour. Regardless, and there's more than enough for a full vulture write-up. This 2012 episode is only available at Stitcher Premium, but there's a full transcript on the Mental Illness Happy Hour website. My Favorite Murder, Golden State Killer Caught, same thing as last podcast on the left, but two women host it.
Yeah.
Query, Evan Rachel Wood, with Karen Esposito. Almost a year before comedian Karen Esposito raised over... blah, 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 blah,
65. Oh, wait. We do need to, that's a good credit. Raised over $65,000 and growing for Rain this year with Rain jokes. Rain, it's I would assume some
sexual assault survivor charity.
Let's see.
Or you could just open another tab.
Hey, shut up! I already did it. I can go back, man. It doesn't give about Rain. Here we go. Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization. Okay. Which is cool. Good for her. That's great. $65,000 is a lot of money.
Her new hour-long stand-up special focused on sexual assault from a survivor's perspective. She sat down to an interview with Evan Rachel Wood. Queer is a podcast designed to meet people where they are and celebrate commonality. So after Wood candidly details her own experience coming out about her sexual assault, Esposito makes the choice to join the conversation. It's a powerful moment within an episode of rich exchange about gender and sexual identity. Rod Esposito's signature swagger, a loud yet welcoming flair that effortlessly balances humor and hard truths. is present. Also, the street in which you're recording is literally on fire. With foreshadowing for a future special, no topics are off limits, but like the jokes have to be good, and the thing that's getting taken down has to be the power structure. It's clear she was already using comedy as a weapon. For Esposito's take on this episode, listen to Good One, a podcast about jokes. All right.
I don't think that's dark or post comedy.
It's not.
That's
just an honest conversation.
Being people.
Yeah.
This is stupid, man.
I really hate this. I'm done reading this article.
Is this just like people thinking comedians are funny all the time?
I don't think they think comedians can be serious people.
Yeah. I think they think of comedians as
a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
Literally just like, well, I don't know how to take life seriously.
Yeah. like not, oh, this is how I fucking cope.
I'm just juggling.
Yeah. Like,
that's all I...
Dude, this is fucking
I've never had a harsh
bullshit.
moment in my life.
This is just elitist bullshit, man.
Suicide buddies.
That's fun.
Almost any episode of stand-up comedians, Hampton Yount and Dave Ross's consistently hilarious suicide buddies would go in this slot. But this one about serial killer Janine Weber hits the exact sweet spot of laughter and misery. Unfortunately named the Ogress, Janine Weber was known in the early 1900s France as the babysitter who broke the glass ceiling and even used remaining shards to murder a handful of children.
Holy shit.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
Before they dive into her story, Yount and Ross seamlessly riff on everything from Flo's politics, hint they're progressive, to Ku Klux Klan horses, to law enforcement's insidious YouTube presence. Okay. This sounds serious, the case of Daniel Bronstedt miniseries. This wonderfully crafted true crime podcast parody. Oh, it's a true crime podcast parody.
Oh, okay.
So it's a parody of like Siri. And also, that's The Onion's podcast. It's a parody of true crime podcast.
Oh, okay.
Again, this is just dark comedy.
Yeah, this isn't post comedy. Oh, Nightingale?
Welcome to Night Vale.
What?
That's dark comedy. Todd Hansen.
On What the Fuck with Mark Maron?
Yeah, that show has many serious episodes.
No, you didn't say the title, man.
With Todd Hansen.
Yeah, you just said Todd Hansen, man.
He reads a... All right. Todd Hansen he was like the head writer for The Onion. Mm-hmm. He's also a deeply depressed guy. I've listened to this episode. It's a dark episode, but again, it's not post-comedy.
Comedians being people.
Just being...
Talking.
Yeah. With a serious conversation.
This isn't... I think these are like fans of people that way. Who is this?
Harris Whittles Returns.
Oh, yeah.
This
episode came out right after he died.
No, it came out before. I listened to it before it happened.
Oh, yeah. It was right before he died, though.
Yeah,
it wasn't recorded right before he died, but it was posted right before he died.
It fucked me up.
Yeah, he talks about real shit.
Like, it fucked me up when I listened to it, but it really fucked me up once he actually died, and I was like... So he was just talking about this addiction that I didn't know he had, and then he dies from this addiction I didn't know he had.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Again, people that are funny.
And I was a huge fan of Harris Whittles, too. He was a very funny person.
Same.
And that's it, and I'm never reading this shit again. All right.
Vulture does sound like they're trying to jump on to anything that could be a trend, though. Like they're vultures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
They're just trying to, like, give people... like media to consume.
We're picking the meat off of dead pop culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Vulture.
Like, we're trying to get there first, so you can have some media to consume about this thing before you even know what it's about. This is consumption culture.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We've hit 2 hours, so...
And we just did nothing but complain about post-comedy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this episode, folks.
I don't know. I think it needed to be said.
This has been Javon and Bobby nearly getting to an actual fight. Disagree with each other a lot, but also agree with each other a lot. And remain friends, despite the fact that we piss each other off sometimes.
2004, A PostComedySucksCast Odyssey.
Yep, that's what's going to be titled.
Okay,
so.
got you. All right.
Bye-bye.